Hi, welcome to therottenrebel. I'm here with Sandra Solomon Fragrance.
Yes, hi everyone.
So I recently did a review of Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Réserve Privée, and I got quite a few people asking me, okay, so what's the difference between the new Givenchy Gentleman and the EDP?
Yeah.
So yeah, here we are. This is a comparison between the EDP and the Réserve Privée, the brand new 2022 release. So without further ado, I think we should just get to it and compare these two against each other.
Let's do it.
So I do want to mention that we have prepared 2 fragrance strips with the dry downs of each perfume.
Yes.
But let's start with the opening, and
Yeah.
please do spray on the EDP
Yes.
while I read the notes. Black pepper, lavender, and then we have bergamot, orris, cloves, cinnamon, black vanilla, tolu, balsam, tonka bean, benzoin, and patchouli. How do you like this one?
I would say it's a soft masculine fragrance, kind of like, not like Sauvage. Yeah, well, if you take like Sauvage Parfum and you take away all the citrus and just get that full lavender and really versatile, easy to like kind of fragrance.
This feels, it has a bit of sort of a powderiness to it.
Yeah.
It definitely has a bit of sweetness at the base, but it's not overpowering in any way. It feels really sort of well balanced, together with the lavender and the brightness with the sort of a pepper and bergamot, but the brightness is not super bright.
No.
It's just there.
Yeah.
So basically, at least to me, this is something that is slightly powdery with the lavender, but a bit of brightness at the top, and then a bit of sweetness
Yeah, a
at
hint
the
of
base.
sweetness,
Yeah,
yes.
I like it. How do you find that one?
Yeah, I like it. This is in the kind of powdery area of men's fragrances that I enjoy. So yeah, definitely a good one.
Yes, and I'm gonna say that the EDP is like, I don't feel you can go wrong with it. Even
No.
people who usually maybe are not that fully into powdery fragrances
Yeah.
will most likely enjoy that one, because it's not super powdery like, let's say, Dior Homme Intense.
And this
or,
is the kind of fragrance that it doesn't poke anyone in the nose.
No.
It's just soft and gentle and really pleasant.
Yeah. So what do you think about the scent itself? Do you feel that it's more suitable to a specific kind of situation, or is it like an all-around sort of a kind of versatile kind of scent?
I would say all around versatile, definitely a great office fragrance. I mean, you can use it whenever you want, but I wouldn't wear this to a date.
Ah, okay.
Because it's not it's not romantic and attractive like the
okay.
ones you maybe want to have on a date.
Yeah, and I think even though you rock any kind of fragrance any way you want, but I do feel that this is actually a powdery fragrance that a lot of the times the powdery fragrance I come across have a more sort of a prominent sweet side to them, making them sort of a more sexy. This one is restrained in that area, at least to my nose. So I do agree with you that even though this will work in any kind of situation, maybe more towards like work and stuff and less to a date. But with that said, it's going to work on a date, of course. So yeah, we enjoy it. Is it like a like? Is it a big like? Is it a massive like?
I am saying that this is growing on me every minute. It gets better and better in the dry down, and because of the creaminess that I think now is peeking out, I would say that it's I like it very much.
Okay, so let's go with the opening of the new Réserve
Yes.
Privée. Please do spray that one
Yes.
on. So what we have here is bergamot at the top, iris, chestnut, whiskey, amber, and woodsy notes. So this one to me has something boozy, something woody,
Yes.
definitely something iris, and then a nutty feeling with a bit of like citrus at the top. But the citrus to me is really, it fades away quite quickly. It's not something that is super citrusy at the top.
No.
So this is like a woody, powdery one with a nutty kind of feeling to it, and a hint of booze.
Yes, only a hint of booze, a little bit more peppery and spicy than the others. Still, this is not a spicy fragrance. And I would say it's very similar to the other one, but it's like they have amped up everything and just made it stronger and with more attitude.
Yes, exactly how I would put it. This one feels like they just amped up the EDP.
Yes.
But with the added touch of that sort of a nutty aspect of it, the chestnut.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is really interesting. Just based on our sort of impression right now, how we currently feel about the opening, which one do you think is the most attractive one? If you had to choose one, just based on the opening.
Yeah. I am usually into stronger fragrances. I want them to smell much and I want them to have some kind of punch. So I think actually that the new one, the Privé one, is the better, judging from the opening.
Okay. And yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you. And I also feel that the new release is, not only is it amped up, because that just sort of makes it sound like it's more intense, but it also has more character to it.
Yeah.
And to me, the new, based on the opening, is way more attractive. Where the original EDP is more restrained, this one actually feels like sexy to me.
Yeah.
And about the opening of the new Réserve Privée, is it like a big, like a massive, like a big love?
Very, very big like.
Very, okay.
Yeah, and this was a very big like, so this is a very, very big like in the opening.
There you go. Okay, so please do finally try the EDP, the dry down. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, this is so nice. That powderiness, the hint of spices, the very, very cautious sweetness.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good. And I think this is actually, I have tried the Privé one time before, but it's the first time I tried Givenchy fragrances. So this is impressive.
To me, it feels like when it starts to dry down, the whole thing becomes a bit more full than the opening, a bit more round and a bit softer but more intense.
Yeah.
So it's growing, but it becomes at the same time rounder and more full and nice.
Yes.
But to me, the basic vibe of it and the basic scent is almost the same as the opening.
Yeah.
Yes, it had changed a bit, but it retains that sort of a feel to it.
And the feeling I have when I smell this, both in the opening and in the dry down, is that now I don't know about the performance, but it's like I'm almost afraid it's gonna go away. So it's like I don't get enough of it, and I don't think it's gonna stay as long as I want. And it's probably because I want it to smell more.
And the truth is, at least on my skin, previous Givenchy releases has not performed that well, with the exception of the new one, which is quite strong with, let's say, I usually spray minimum like 6 to 8 sprays and go above.
Excuse me, when did you ever spray 6 sprays?
Maybe a bit more.
Yes,
but
6 sprays on each side.
Yeah, and 6 sprays all over, and 6 sprays all over.
Down,
yeah. But when I did my review of it, I did try to go with as low as I could.
Yeah.
And with about 6 sprays, I got a really nice projection. And for this comparison, I did 5 sprays on each strip. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but when I sprayed the new Réserve Privée, that was when that scent really went through this room.
Yes.
So there's a big difference in the projection, at least to my nose, even though the longevity is not beast mode with the new one. So with that said, let's try the new one.
So a bit sweeter, a bit fuller, less creamy than the original, and very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna say that both of these are sort of a linear, because they are not. But what you have in the opening is, in a way, sort of a retained at the base. Yeah. They lose that sort of a brightness at the top.
Yes.
But the core vibe of them is still intact when it comes to the dry down. This one feels a bit more boozy, a bit more woody.
Yeah.
Definitely more powdery.
Yes.
And just like we said before, it just feels like a really more sort of intense version of the original. It has more character to it. It has a bit of wood booziness.
The Privé is more boozy and more sweet, and I would say the original or the EDP is more spicy. Do you think it's necessary to have both?
I also got that question by someone. Which I think is a really good question.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, this is so subjective. So if I truly love a scent, I will most likely want to have most of the flankers to it, because you know, if it's just, even if it's just a slight hint of character to it, a change in the character, I still want that difference. But I'm gonna say that probably in this case, no. For most people, I do believe that you can just stick with one of these.
Yeah.
Now, which one you choose is really up to you. If you want a more intense version of it with a bit of a sort of booziness at the base, go with the new one.
Yeah.
It's way more powdery, it's way more intense and all that. But if you are the person that feels that you want something that is more sort of intimate, a bit more restrained, maybe in a way a bit more versatile because it's more intimate, then maybe go with the original. But for someone who absolutely loves that sort of a scent, go for both. So yeah, I have both, but I would not recommend my friends to buy both. I would say buy one of them because you will most likely, you know, cover that kind of scent with one. How do you feel? If you can only pick one, if you had a man in your life, which one would you buy for him and why?
I would enjoy any one of them, but I would go for the Privée.
Okay.
Because I think that you get something very similar but better and more intense. And I always want the more intense ones.
Okay. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Like I mentioned before, this feels more intense. It feels like it has way more character to it. So I would definitely go with the new Réserve Privée. But like I mentioned, if you are someone who prefers something that is a bit more subdued, a bit more intimate, and maybe just a bit more versatile, go for the EDP. So yeah, this was really interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks for being part of this comparison. If you guys have tried both of these, please do comment with which one is your favorite. Don't forget to head on over to Sandra Solomon Fragrance's channel. I'm going to link to her channel in the description below. Sub to her, sub to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.